Well, it's time to take out that second mortgage because it's Black Friday and these monitor deals are absolutely insane this year, so let's dive into it. But first, as always, if you see any monitors that you like, please be sure to use the affiliate links down below for your convenience and my monetary benefit, because daddy's gotta eat. But let's start off with some Quantum.OLED monitors, and first off is the Alienware AW3423DWF. This is a fantastic glossy Quantum.OLED gaming monitor with a refresh rate of 165 Hz. And honestly, if you're into some good HDR gaming and you love ultra-wide monitors, this is going to be a great option at the reduced price of around roughly $800 over at Best Buy, as Quantum.OLED technology, in my opinion, is the best monitor technology on the market today, and this is a great option. But moving on to a slightly higher end version, this comes with some smart features and a slightly higher refresh rate of 175 Hz, but otherwise it's essentially the same. I've also reviewed this one and did find the picture quality to be very, very good, and at the reduced price of roughly $900 over at Best Buy versus the launch of around $1,500, that is a massive savings and also a very good option today. But what about something even a little bit more high-end? And for that, we have the non-smart feature version of the OLED G9. I haven't reviewed this specific one, but I did review the smart feature version. I imagine there's very little difference between the two, and this one can be had for just around $1,000 over on Amazon. So that is a massive difference from the roughly $2,200, I think it was originally, for the smart feature version of the OLED G9 when that originally launched. And speaking of that monitor, we also have that available over here on Best Buy as well. And if you do have the Best Buy Total account, you can have that for just $100 more than the non-smart feature version. And this too is also an excellent price at roughly half its original launch price. So really great stuff there. And I do consider the OLED G9 to be one of the best gaming monitors on the market today, because it's actually the second generation Quantum.OLED panels, which do have some benefits, including slightly better text. But moving on to some WOLED options, as there's quite a few good ones here, guys, and the first one is coming from KTC. Now, this has jumped up in price a little bit, unfortunately. There was a short period of time where you could have it between like $515 to $600, which was crazy, depending on whether or not you are a Prime member, but now it's roughly, after a coupon, around $600 is what you can expect. But still, that's $600 versus the $800 to $1,000 these things typically go for. And this is a 240Hz MLA WOLED panel that does get pretty bright. I just did a review on this one and I found it to be very, very good. It just has a few firmware issues that need to be knocked out, but at this price, really good stuff. What about another option though? We do have one from LG, and honestly guys, this is a much better price than what it launched at, which I believe was $1,000 roughly. Now it's around $780 over on Best Buy, but this one I do think will be not quite as bright as the KTC one, and it is also a little bit more expensive. So you are kind of just paying for the brand, and that's it. So let's move on to another one. We also have one from Corsair. Essentially the same thing here, guys. This one's even a tiny bit more expensive, although the latest firmware, I haven't tested it yet, but it's supposed to make this a little bit brighter. So this could be better than the LG one, but otherwise, yeah, I think the KTC one is still a better value overall. But then we have another KTC OLED, the 42-inch one here, guys, and it actually has a $410 coupon, and this is a 4K 138 Hz version. Now, unfortunately, all these WOLED panels do have matte finishes, although I will be buffing them out one by one. I've started with some LCD stuff, and I've moved on to some OLEDs now, and it does seem to work pretty well. So that's something I'm going to do. Don't recommend other people do it, but for me, that's why I consider these still really good, because I can buff them out. And yeah, once they're glossy, wow, it does look really great, and OLED just has such great response times that a 4K 138 Hz is an awesome option as well. And for just under $800 roughly, yeah, that's not bad at all for this type of a display. But now let's go ahead and move on to another option at that 42-inch size. We do have actually the LG C3, which is a pretty good monitor, and it is also glossy out of the box. That's also a good option, although it doesn't have some of the benefits that monitors have, and it is locked to 120 Hz, but at around $900, not too bad as it was originally, I think $1,150 to $1,200 when it first launched. But now we have another good OLED option here, guys. It is the 45GR95 QE-B. What a fantastic name, and at around $1,000 here, guys. That's a huge drop from its $1,700 original price point. Of course, there are some downsides to this one as well. However, it is a 240Hz panel, and it is a ultra-wide 1440p. Some people will find the size to be a little bit large for that resolution, but I did find it to be very, very immersive, so I think it's worth considering. Then we have the Corsair Xenon 240Hz. I believe this is the bendable version of that same monitor. It's a little bit more. You are paying for the ability to bend it, but basically everything else is the same, so you do get that nicety for that little bit extra, roughly $1,300. But what if you want something mini LED because you want something a little bit brighter, maybe a little bit more suitable for desktop usage? And we do have some great options here, guys. Here, this monitor, I'm not even going to try and say the name, but for $400, guys, we're talking mini LED 240 hertz. That is a great value for roughly $400, and I do believe it has around 384 local dimming zones. So not a ton of dimming zones, but for that price, wow, that is really good. Would highly, highly recommend taking a look at it, and I should be reviewing this very soon as well, as this company did reach out to me, and it looks like they're probably going to send me one. So it will be interesting to see how it reviews. But now moving on to a KTC option. Here's a good one, same price. However, instead of 240 hertz, you're getting 165 hertz max. However, you're moving from, at least according to the listings, 384 zones on that last one to 576 zones on this one, meaning that the HDR potential should be a little bit better on this monitor. So do you want a little bit better HDR, or do you want a little bit faster panel? That's up to you. But now moving on to another option from KTC, because they just have a ton of really good prices right now. And here we have the 4K mini LED 27-inch monitor up to 160 hertz, although I believe that requires overclocking. And I believe I did review this model, unless this is a new revision, but from what I'm hearing, this is the same revision. I believe this is the M27P20P. And I did review it very well. It was a great monitor, and after a $200 coupon, bringing it down to roughly $600, that is a great price for a high refresh rate 4K mini LED HDR 1000 monitor. That's going to have some great HDR support. I believe that one is also 576 local dimming zones as well. Now, we do have an option from InnoCN, which is essentially the same thing for a slight upcharge, although I did find that these InnoCN monitors, at least when I reviewed them, maybe things have changed, but back when I reviewed them, they would drop from the 1000 nits full screen down to 600, which I did find a little bit annoying. So I do think the KTC options not only look better, but also perform a little bit better in my opinion as well. Now, we do also have another version of that same KTC monitor here for the roughly same $600 from a different storefront. So there's an option if the other one sells out. And then of course, we do have some 32-inch options as well, starting off with InnoCN. This is their 32 M2V. I did review this one well. It looks like you can get it for around $630 roughly. That's pretty good for a monitor that should have 1152 local dimming zones and a 144 hertz refresh rate. Gets very, very bright. A good option for HDR. And then the last monitor we're going to be talking about today, the last really good one that I saw, though of course you can go ahead and click around, see if you find any other deals that I missed. Here is potentially the best mini LED gaming monitor on the market today, and this is what I believe is the what is it called again? Jesus Christ. M32P10. I just reviewed this one as well. It is more expensive than the InnoCN model, although it looks better, and I think it performs a little bit better in terms of its, brightness sustainability as well. So this you can have for around $840. Bit more expensive, but in my opinion, for that really, really excellent HDR 1000 4K 144 hertz experience, this is definitely the way to go. So there you have it, guys. There's my list for the best monitors that I've found this Black Friday. And to be honest with you guys, these are all really, really great monitors. The prices are fantastic. So if you buy something now, I would not be having any buyer's remorse, as the price is so good that, sure, we do have those glossy 240Hz 4K Quantum.OLEDs coming out sometime next year, although we don't know for sure the exact release date, and it could be later than that. And it's also likely they will be in that price range of around probably like $1,500. So here's some great options if you want to buy something now at a really great price. Whether you're looking to connect a new console, gaming PC, or just need a fast and reliable HDMI cable to connect over long distances, Rupro has you covered with their certified 8K HDMI 2.1 fiber optic cable, available in sizes of up to 50 feet and can deliver a perfect full 48 gigabits per second connection over distances other cables could only dream of reaching. And with 48 gigabits per second of bandwidth, it can easily drive 8K 60 FPS or 4K 144 FPS 10-bit HDR video through its ultra-thin, flexible, and durable housing, and it even supports ER. So if you're in the market for a cable that can drive a beautiful new TV or monitor, be sure to check out Rupro on Amazon today.